So the Coleman Center started as an arts club in like 1984, I think. And so it was local artists that were showing their own work. By the mid-2000s, there was kind of a ideological change within the organization that was facilitated by two of my predecessors. And now we have like 5 main programmatic areas. We have our artist residency, which is like our best known program outside of the state. We have exhibitions. We have art education, a community garden, and Pop Start, which is a space we use now for like our screening series, a lot of like public programs, workshops, classes, things like that. We are located in downtown York. We have 7 buildings with a variety of uses. Our most popular and best known is the one we share with the library, and it also has our gallery. I was an artist in Alabama. Organizations like the Coleman Center and also the Birmingham Museum of Art were like pretty critical to my development. I went to high school at Alabama School of Fine Arts. I graduated from there. And after high school and college, I moved back to Birmingham and pretty quickly started working for the Birmingham Museum of Art. I worked in the education department. And while I was there, it became clear, I loved working in museums. I loved like working as like an art worker versus being a maker myself. And so I went to grad school in the Bay Area at California College of the Arts. I had heard of the Coleman Center and visited probably back in like 2006, 2007. I just thought it was a neat organization. The Coleman Center is really filling a gap. There isn't an excessive amount of opportunity for artists who are working outside the state to kind of be in practice in the state, And when I was coming back, my dad said this really lovely thing. He was like, yeah, maybe you're like the Coleman Center is gonna help the next Jacob Lawrence develop. And I was just like, oh. Also, it's just a beautiful idea that like we are here to kind of cultivate other folks' creative practice. York was a much larger town. It was at least triple the size it is now. And it had a public park that had a swimming pool. And in 1971, I believe, as there was forced desegregation, in this case, it's like pretty profound because we're talking about the majority of the community was denied access to lots of public space. But city leadership at the time filled in the swimming pool rather than desegregate it. And you could and still can see the kind of like footprint of the building and the swimming pool space. And then a visiting artist decided to kind of unpack what it means for the vestiges of that to still remain with a diving board bench. He imagines it as something like that people will sit at. And so it's one of the earlier projects I was familiar with. And I thought it did a lot of different things. Like aesthetically, it was doing some things. It was the materials he chose I thought were pretty sophisticated and interesting. And then the site was pretty relevant and impactful. We are here on our campus, the Coleman Center for the Art Campus, and we're at our picnic tables that were the culmination of a project with an artist collective, Fallen Fruit. They're based in Los Angeles. They do a lot of fruit and food justice related projects, and these tables are one of the projects and kind of the culmination of multiple visits. The project was multi-stage. It included a kind of cobbler potluck where folks from throughout the community brought different fruit cobblers. It also included a jam making tutorial. It included planting fruit trees and doing kind of foraging for fruit locally. And at those events, they had some oral history and storytelling that then was placed on, inscribed on the picnic tables. Like Fallen Fruit says, every body has a fruit story, and these tables have a fruit story. Now the space is used, it's like a quiet meditative space. It has a nice canopy here, so people enjoy sitting in what is relatively cool and reading the quotes. So the Coleman Center has been around a long time, and because of that, we've had multiple phases. And I really want the Coleman Center to again be able to support folks in practice and like many people in practice, and be kind of a meeting space for community and people in creative practice, to have very robust programs. I do really believe in the importance of, I don't know if visual literacy is exactly the right term, but like people who don't sing well still enjoy music and engage with music. If you're not a formally trained dancer, you still dance and move, but there's something about like how visual arts has been like relegated, and it's like to be able to buy objects is for the wealthy, and to be able to do it as an expression is for the highly skilled. And I don't want that. I want people to feel a lot of ownership over what they make, and then also